Imagine this. Decades spent under the bright, unforgiving lights of an operating room, my hands meticulously working to restore health, to mend what's broken. As a surgeon, I've dedicated my life to caring for older adults, witnessing firsthand the silent battles waged within the human body. But today, I'm not addressing you with the detached professionalism of a clinician. I'm speaking to you with a profound, almost desperate urgency, straight from the heart. Seniors, I am begging you, please, you must stop eating certain vegetables that many of you believe are your allies. You see, there are 5 culprits, seemingly innocent, perhaps even sitting in your refrigerator right now, that are silently, insidiously destroying your precious vision. You might be dismissing those subtle changes already. Perhaps the morning sunlight feels a little too glaring, almost painful. Maybe faces you once knew intimately are starting to blur at the edges, their expressions harder to discern. Or does picking up a book, even for a short while, leave your eyes feeling strained and weary, despite you not spending hours glued to a screen? It's easy to chalk these things up to the inevitable march of time, to just getting older. But what if I told you the real enemy isn't a mysterious disease, nor is it simply the number of candles on your birthday cake? What if the architect of your dimming sight is something far more common, something invited onto your plate every single day? I've seen this tragic story unfold too many times. Vibrant, clear-minded older patients, otherwise in good health, who begin to lose their sight, not with a dramatic crash, but with a slow, quiet fade. I recall one woman, her voice laced with a sorrow that pierced my soul, telling me she could no longer clearly see her grandson's bright, smiling face in the soft morning light. Her vision wasn't stolen by a diagnosed illness. It was eroded by the very vegetables she dutifully ate, day in and day out, prepared in ways she never once questioned. But listen closely, because it's not too late. Starting now, not someday, I'm going to walk you through the 5 specific vegetables you must remove from your diet if you cherish your sight, if you want to fiercely protect your independence, and if you intend to hold on to every single irreplaceable moment you have left to witness with your own eyes. There's an undeniable comfort associated with spinach, isn't there? It's that vibrant green, so tender when cooked, and for generations, it's been lauded as a cornerstone of healthy eating, especially for older adults consciously trying to boost their iron and embrace clean living. We find it lovingly folded into omelets, swirled into hearty soups, enriching pasta dishes, and even starring in those creamy, nostalgic casseroles passed down through families. But here's the stark, unsettling truth that few people ever consider. That portion of spinach you thoughtfully saved and reheated for lunch. It might be systematically, silently, day by day, forkful by forkful, inflicting harm upon your eyes. You see, when spinach is cooked, allowed to cool, and then stored, often overnight in the refrigerator, a subtle yet sinister chemical transformation begins. Spinach is naturally abundant in nitrates, perfectly benign in their fresh state. However, upon cooling and subsequent reheating, these nitrates can convert into nitrites. These nitrite compounds are troublemakers. They have the potential to significantly increase oxidative stress within your body. In simpler, more human terms, these nitrites can wage war on the tiny, incredibly delicate blood vessels that are the lifeline to your retina, the very tissue at the back of your eye responsible for capturing light and sending visual information to your brain. Over time, this sustained damage can pave the way for devastating conditions like macular degeneration, that frustrating blurriness that makes details disappear, a crippling difficulty in adjusting to bright light, and even a gradual, painless, yet relentless loss of sight. This isn't some far-fetched theory, it's a clinical reality I've encountered repeatedly. I've consulted with patients in their late 70s and beyond who meticulously avoided common eye strain culprits. They never overused smartphones, never read in dim lighting, and had no history of diabetes. Yet their vision declined, shrouded in mystery. As we painstakingly traced back their daily habits, one common thread often emerged: the routine of consuming reheated spinach dishes multiple times a week, all in the commendable name of saving time, conserving money, or minimizing food waste. And believe me, I understand. None of us want to discard perfectly good food, especially something as seemingly innocent as a bowl of sautéed spinach. But I implore you to ask yourself this critical question. Is that single scoop of leftovers truly worth risking your ability to see the cherished faces of those you love? The real, often unacknowledged danger of aging isn't merely what we naturally lose, it's what we unknowingly, willingly give away by clinging to habits that no longer serve our well-being. Kale. The word itself has become almost synonymous with peak health, hasn't it? It's the undisputed poster child of vibrant eating, splashed across every senior wellness magazine and prominently featured in grocery store flyers, universally praised as a veritable superfood. And for good reason. On the surface, it's brimming with fiber, calcium, a host of antioxidants, and essential vitamins. It's truly no wonder that so many older adults, ardently hoping to maintain their mental sharpness and physical energy, have enthusiastically incorporated raw kale into their daily smoothie rituals. It seems like the ultimate health hack. But what if I were to tell you that this celebrated green drink, the one you religiously blend each morning, might be slowly, imperceptibly dulling the clarity of your vision? The unvarnished truth is that raw kale, particularly when consumed frequently and in substantial quantities, can silently interfere with your body's innate ability to protect your precious eyes. Kale, in its raw state, is notably high in compounds called oxalates. These naturally occurring substances have a peculiar tendency to bind with essential minerals like calcium and zinc, two micronutrients that are absolutely critical for maintaining optimal eye health, especially for the delicate structures of the retina and the macula, the tiny central part of your retina responsible for your sharp, detailed central vision. When these oxalates latch onto calcium and zinc, they form microscopic, insoluble crystals. These crystals are incredibly difficult for your body to absorb, essentially hijacking these vital nutrients and robbing your eyes of the very nourishment they desperately need to remain strong and resilient. I've seen numerous patients who, by all other measures, are doing everything right. They don't smoke, they engage in regular exercise, they stay well hydrated. Yet, they present in my clinic with disconcerting complaints, persistent eye fatigue, a nagging blurriness to their vision, or a strange, bothersome haze when they encounter bright sunlight. They are, understandably, confused and often disheartened. When I delve into their dietary habits, many will proudly proclaim, "Oh, I drink a kale smoothie every single morning." They never, for a moment, suspected that something so vividly green, so ostensibly clean, could harbor such hidden, detrimental consequences for their eyesight. This isn't about instilling fear, it's about fostering an understanding of balance. Kale, undeniably, still holds nutritional value. However, simple preparation methods like steaming or lightly sautéing it can significantly break down these problematic oxalates, thereby making its rich array of nutrients far more bioavailable and beneficial to your body. So, if you've been diligently tossing handfuls of raw kale into your blender each day, believing it's a shortcut to better health, it might be a crucial time to pause and rethink that routine. There's a powerful, almost sentimental pull to pickled vegetables, isn't there? Whether it's the satisfying sharp crunch of a dill pickle accompanying your favorite sandwich, the zesty tang of sauerkraut piled generously on a bratwurst, or the earthy bite of pickled beets enlivening a fresh salad, these foods often transport us back. They evoke memories of lively family barbecues, cherished old-world recipes, and perhaps simpler, more carefree times. Their flavor profile is undeniably bold, wonderfully vivid, positively alive. Yet lurking beneath this enticing flavor and deeply ingrained tradition lies a truth that can be quite difficult to swallow. These very foods, enjoyed with regularity, may be quietly, methodically damaging your vision, one flavorful bite at a time. The primary issue with pickled vegetables lies in their extraordinarily high salt content. And we're not talking about just a delicate pinch. A single seemingly modest serving of many pickled items can deliver hundreds of milligrams of sodium, an amount that far exceeds what aging eyes and their correspondingly delicate blood vessels can safely and effectively handle. This relentless influx of excess salt inevitably raises overall blood pressure, but more specifically, it places an immense and sustained strain on the incredibly fine, fragile capillaries within the eyes, particularly those that nourish the retina. Over months and years, this constant pressure can progressively weaken the vessel walls, leading to perilous microbleeds, persistent blurred vision, and a condition known as hypertensive retinopathy. This is a serious eye ailment that many older adults don't even realize they are developing until their eyesight has already begun to noticeably and often irreversibly dim. To make matters worse, many commercially produced pickles are laden with synthetic preservatives and artificial colorings, chemical compounds that have been strongly linked to systemic inflammation and increased oxidative stress throughout the body. These aren't just isolated threats to your eyes, they place a significant burden on your entire circulatory system, critically including the vital blood flow to your brain. That daily pickle you reach for, perhaps just for a little burst of flavor or a satisfying crunch, might actually be contributing to a dulling of your sharpness, both in your precious sight and in the clarity of your thought. I've spoken with countless seniors who've told me, with a degree of dismissal, "Oh, I only eat a few pickles a day. That can't possibly be bad, right?" But when vision begins to fade and memory starts to falter, skipping like a scratched and worn record, we often find ourselves wishing, with a profound sense of regret, that we could rewind time and undo those seemingly small, insignificant choices, like habitually reaching for that tempting jar. Garlic, that pungent and beloved bulb, has long been celebrated, not just as a foundational flavor staple in American kitchens and culinary traditions across the globe, but also as a potent natural remedy revered for generations. It's been consistently hailed as a protector of the heart, a formidable fighter against high cholesterol, and even a purifier of the blood. And truthfully, garlic does possess some incredible, well-documented therapeutic properties. However, as is so often the case with many potent things in life, it's possible to have too much of a good thing. And when that happens, what was once beneficial can quietly transform into a hidden danger, particularly for the physiology of older adults. When consumed in notably large amounts, especially in its raw, unadulterated form or as highly concentrated supplements, garlic exhibits a powerful action as a natural blood thinner. Now, this might initially sound like a desirable effect, particularly for seniors who are understandably concerned about maintaining heart health or reducing their risk of stroke. But here's the crucial detail that many people fail to realize. Significantly thinned blood can, paradoxically, increase the risk of tiny, spontaneous internal bleeds, especially in the more fragile and delicate parts of the body, such as the eyes. The retina, the light-sensitive tissue lining the back of your eye, is intricately laced with a network of microscopic capillaries, some of which are astonishingly thinner than a single strand of human hair. As we age, these delicate blood vessels naturally become more fragile and susceptible to damage. If you then introduce a potent blood-thinning agent like high-dose garlic into this equation, particularly if it's alongside prescribed anticoagulant medications such as aspirin or warfarin, the risk of experiencing a vitreous hemorrhage, bleeding into the gel-like substance that fills the eye, the sudden appearance of distracting floaters, or an abrupt and alarming blurring of vision increases quite significantly. Some of my patients who've experienced this have described their vision as if they're attempting to see through a veil of smoke, or they report noticing sudden, inexplicable flashes of light. They were often completely unaware that the very garlic they were proudly and diligently taking to improve their circulation could, in fact, have been the catalyst disrupting the delicate vascular integrity behind their precious sight. As with so many aspects of health, balance is absolutely key. A clove or two minced into your pasta sauce, that's generally wonderful and adds fantastic flavor. But a raw garlic smoothie consumed every morning, perhaps with additional garlic supplements piled on top, that's precisely when the intended healing can veer into unintended harm. Your body, and most especially your eyes, thrive on balanced nourishment, not on aggressive overcorrection. So, the next time you find yourself reaching for that garlic capsule or contemplating an extra large dose, Pause and ask yourself a vital question. Am I truly helping my body, or am I inadvertently quietly straining its delicate systems? There's an undeniable, almost nostalgic comfort that emanates from a can of corn. It's invariably warm, wonderfully sweet, and cheerfully golden. A little pocket of sunshine, a taste of summer conveniently sealed in a tin. It's a familiar and frequent guest on dinner tables all across America, making its appearance in everything from hearty Thanksgiving casseroles to quick and easy weeknight side dishes. For many seniors, it represents something familiar, wonderfully easy to prepare, and inherently safe. Yet, concealed behind that appealing sweetness and effortless convenience lies a quiet, often overlooked truth. That can of corn may be gradually, insidiously stealing the clarity and sharpness from your eyes without you ever noticing the subtle theft until significant damage has been done. Unlike its fresh or even frozen counterparts, which manage to retain a substantial portion of their natural nutritional integrity, canned corn undergoes a heavy and often harsh processing journey during its manufacturing. In this process, a significant amount of the vital nutrients lutein and zeaxanthin, two incredibly powerful antioxidants absolutely essential for protecting the delicate retina, are unfortunately lost or degraded. These specific nutrients play a crucial frontline role in filtering out harmful high-energy blue light, the kind emitted from screens and the sun, and are pivotal in preventing age-related macular degeneration, AMD, which tragically stands as one of the leading causes of profound vision loss in older adults. So, when you regularly rely on canned corn as a staple side dish, perhaps thinking it's a harmless, even healthy vegetable contribution to your meal, you are, in essence, feeding your body calories largely stripped of the vital protective compounds your eyes desperately need to defend themselves. To compound the issue, the vast majority of canned corn varieties are also packed with an excessive amount of sodium and, quite often, added sugar, frequently disguised under innocuous-sounding label terms like seasoned or sweet kernel. Over time, a consistently high sodium intake can contribute to increased intraocular pressure, placing undue and damaging strain on the optic nerve, while the added sugars promote systemic inflammation, silently eroding not just your vision, but also your overall vascular health, affecting blood vessels throughout your body. I've met numerous older patients who, when this is explained, respond with understandable surprise, saying, "But it's just corn, what harm can it possibly do?" The reality is, however, that small, seemingly insignificant habits, when repeated daily over many years, profoundly shape the health and vitality we carry into our later years. And sometimes, tragically, it's the most innocent-seeming, everyday foods that inflict the most lasting and significant harm. So, before you instinctively reach for that can opener the next time, pause for a moment. Consider instead choosing fresh or frozen corn. It's a simple, almost effortless shift in habit, but it's one that could meaningfully help preserve your precious ability to read, to drive safely, and to clearly recognize the beloved faces of those you hold dear. Now that we've journeyed through the shadows and uncovered some of the common, yet surprisingly detrimental, vegetable culprits that might be compromising your sight, it's only natural and indeed essential to ask, so what should I be eating instead? Which foods can genuinely support and enhance my vision, help keep my mind agile and sharp, and contribute to a strong, resilient heart as I navigate the aging process? The wonderfully encouraging news is that the answers aren't hidden away in some obscure, expensive health food store, nor do they require investing in costly exotic supplements. In fact, they are readily available, waiting for you right there in the produce aisle of your local grocery store, or perhaps even flourishing in your own garden, if you're fortunate enough to have one. Let's begin with the undisputed, age-old champion of eye health, carrots. Bursting with beta-carotene, a vibrant pigment that your body skillfully converts into vitamin A, carrots provide a nutrient that is absolutely indispensable for protecting the delicate retina and significantly enhancing your ability to see in low light conditions, or what we commonly call night vision. Then consider the often underestimated red bell pepper, This colorful gem is quietly but powerfully loaded with vitamin C and a rich array of antioxidants, which work synergistically to reduce harmful inflammation and diligently strengthen the intricate network of blood vessels within your eyes. And let's revisit kale, but this time prepared thoughtfully. When gently cooked, either by steaming or light sautéing, kale transforms into a veritable powerhouse of lutein and zeaxanthin. These are the very same two nutrients we discussed earlier, acting like natural internal sunglasses for your retina, diligently shielding it from the damaging effects of blue light and substantially reducing your risk of developing macular degeneration. And please, don't underestimate the humble, ripe tomato. Filled to the brim with lycopene, a potent antioxidant, tomatoes wage a valiant fight against oxidative stress, not just within your eyes, but throughout your entire vascular system, thereby helping to keep both your heart and your brain functioning more youthfully for longer. These remarkable foods aren't fleeting trends or overhyped fads. They are true, time-tested gifts from nature, their benefits robustly proven by scientific research, all ready and waiting to become a vibrant, health-giving part of your daily plate. The crucial key isn't merely eating vegetables, it's about consciously choosing the right ones and preparing them in the right way, with care, consistency, and clear, health-focused intention. Protecting your precious sight, as we've explored, truly begins at the table. Embracing the journey of growing older doesn't and shouldn't mean surrendering your vision to the whims of time or misinformation. Instead, it signifies an opportunity to become wiser, more discerning, and profoundly more intentional with every single bite you take, every habit you cultivate, and every choice you make regarding your well-being. The vegetables we've discussed today, those 5 potential culprits, aren't inherently evil by nature. In fact, some of them, like spinach and kale, are incredibly nutritious and beneficial when they are prepared and consumed in the correct manner. However, when we fall into patterns of repeating harmful cooking habits, like continually reheating nitrate-rich greens, or when we lean too heavily on overly processed versions packed with sodium and sugar, we begin to slowly, methodically chip away at the health of our eyes, the clarity of our minds, and the strength of our hearts. Your eyesight is so much more than just the functional ability to read a newspaper or drive a car. It's the sacred lens through which you witness your grandchildren's joyful smiles, observe the breathtaking beauty of the changing seasons, and instantly recognize the comforting, beloved faces of those you hold dear. That profound clarity, that deep connection to the world around you, is unequivocally worth protecting with every fiber of your being. And the most empowering truth in all of this is that it is never, ever too late to change course, to make a conscious shift, to swap out a potentially dangerous dish for one that actively heals and nourishes. So, I urge you, start today. Take a moment to reconsider what you eat, to evaluate how you typically cook your meals, and to think critically about how these daily choices are either supporting or undermining your long-term well-being. Every small, positive shift truly matters. Good vision is not merely a fleeting gift of youth. It is, in many ways, a hard-earned reward of accumulated wisdom and mindful living. If this message has touched you, if it has resonated deeply, I encourage you to share it. Help another senior, perhaps a friend or family member, protect their vision before it's too late. Because when we take active steps to protect our eyes, we don't just see the world more clearly, we remain vibrantly, meaningfully connected to it. These lessons, these insights, are shared with the sincere hope of inspiring you to live your life fully, authentically, and with the clear vision you deserve. Now, I would genuinely love to hear from you. Please take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed and share one key insight you've learned today that you plan to apply in your own life. Let's support one another on this vital journey toward embracing these sight-saving truths. If you enjoyed this information and found it valuable, please leave a comment with the number 1 too. If, for any reason, it wasn't what you hoped for, feel free to comment with 0, 1. Your honest feedback means a great deal to us and helps us create better content for you. And of course, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more empowering content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to you living life vibrantly and on your own terms.